Okay, I want to talk a little bit about multi-sig. This
Uh-huh.
is featured throughout your website. I want to talk about the importance of having multiple signers being able to manage a Lightning node. Why is that? Why does that matter?
Let me first distinguish they're two completely different things. And one will happen much sooner, and let's call that alternative signing or cooperative signing. And then the other one, I'll avoid using multi-sig because
Okay.
the other one will be multi-party signing or
Okay.
multi-party computation. And that one's a little more distant, but also very exciting, but for different reasons. So the first one is a cooperative signing idea. So let me outline this very quickly by saying it's possible with a small device like this one or something on your phone to store the state. You would store it on the device as well, but you could also keep it in the cloud. And so there is a protocol for that VLS uses when it connects to a LSS or VSS signer. So the VSS signer is probably the one to talk about, which is a versioned uh, uh, something store. And so it's in the cloud, and the signer is sending encrypted state, and there's some authentication, so the signer knows that it's getting the right state back. And that gives you a couple things. One is it gives you a backup. So if your device goes completely missing, again, like Bitcoin, you would need to know a seed. So there's going to be this one-time seed storage thing. But if you know the seed, you can get all of the other state from the cloud and then pick back up right where you were. But there's also a different thing you could do. You could have two devices. One might be your phone, for example, and the other might be in your house. And either of them can do the operation. So that gets you some redundancy, but it gets you a lot of flexibility too. Because if there is a bit something where you have to approve something, it might depend where you are. One thing might be better. What's a good? Oh, for example, for receiving funds, it'd be nice to have something always on in your house because if you want to give me money, great, I'll sign that. Whereas on your phone, it's very difficult to have what either a node or the signer or anything running all the time on a phone. Both Apple and Android aren't very good at keeping stuff running in the background. So they're intermittently connected at best. So, but a phone might be a great way to make payments though. So you want to authorize a payment to go out. That's what you do on your phone. So those two devices could be the same VLS state, if you want to think of it that way. They're just alternate engines, but they're using the same state, and they're coordinating rendezvousing via VSS, the cloud storage that's storing the state. So that's coming up relatively soon. Everybody's interested in it because it gives you backups and it gives you some nice alternatives. You can say use one device for receiving and another one for sending. Let me talk about the other thing, though, the
Sure.
multi-party thing. Now, the multi-party thing is really an enterprise thing. So if you want to make something even more secure, so the first thing you did was you took the secrets out of the node and you put them in a secure computation environment, and you made it. You put barbed wire around it and guard dogs and stuff. So, but even better than that is split it into 5 things, and none of them has what it takes to do the signing itself. They have to cooperatively sign. So it might be that 3 of them have to be online and cooperative in order to get signatures happening. And now the bad guy can attack and either take 2 of them offline or even steal outright 2 of them, and they still can't steal your money. So that becomes extremely secure. An enterprise would likely put those 5 cooperating signers in different locations and use possibly different tech stacks to do it, different hardware, and maybe even different surrounding operating systems, because that makes the attack harder. If they're all identical and I find some way into one, I've got some way into all of them. But if they're all a little different, then the bad guy has to come up with a different attack, and he needs to get to 3 of them. So now you've really made that job difficult. You've made that to be a very secure system. Now, to do that, though, we have to be able to do all of the signing operations and store all of the necessary secrets using multi-party computation. So that's where Taproot and Musig and Frost come in. So those are all ways for a group of people to generate a signature where none of them has sole ability to generate the signature. There's a lot of work in that area because it's not some of the inners of the Lightning protocol do not lend themselves directly to multi-party computation. But the VLS team we have a matrix chat group, and we have folks from all over the place, from all the different ventures. So there's folks from Spiral there, there's folks from Core Lightning there, and and these issues are being discussed, and we're coming up with solutions. I'm actually not the best resource on the ins and outs of Frost, recursive musig versus Frost. But what I see happening is that we're finding ways to handle some of the problems and make it work in a multi-party computation thing. And I would say, I think in a year's time, we're going to start to see that happening. There's a bunch of foundational stuff that needs to get settled in. People need to. Everyone talks about Taproot and Musig and Frost all the time, but especially Musig and Frost are actually fairly new, and people are working very hard to understand them and get enough track record with them so that they feel that those solutions are secure. One thing that the experts talk about a lot is whether there's a security proof for the particular recursive proposal, yada, yada. And in most cases, there is not yet a security proof. So at some point, someone will do that proof, and then everyone can go, yes, okay, now we know it's secure, and we know that there isn't going to be a problem there.